guys, it is Amy, the relocated tourist, coming to you live once again from my office. It is January 5th, 2020. I can't believe it. January is actually going pretty fast so far. So let's see, Disney news. If you are on my Facebook page, you can see everyone is discussing kind of a little tiny nugget they dropped this morning. I guess it's tiny or big depending on how you feel about it. So I assume this is going to happen eventually because, so what we're talking about, let's start there, is that Disney is cutting back their bus service for the Skyliner Resorts. So that includes Art of Animation, the Riviera, Caribbean Beach, Pop Century, and I think that's it. Put in the comments if I forgot one. But regardless, that's what they're doing. They're pulling back their bus service and only running resort buses from these resorts to Epcot and Disney's Hollywood Studios once an hour. So obviously this has kind of shook up a lot of people. And the reason being is from the standpoint of like common sense, which my good friend Jeff pointed out on Facebook, and I completely agree, is that they've made this system so that they could lighten the load on other transportation areas, which heavily is the buses. We have our monorails, we have our boats, we have now the minivans, but this was a big one for the busing systems because there's just so many people coming to Disney World now that they're just, I'm sure, just overloaded. So this just makes sense because it's, you know, from these specific resorts, it makes sense. That being said, there are people like myself who it takes quite some time to not only get used to the heights, but who will never step on it because the heights are just too high. And especially in the area over Caribbean Beach, it is very, very high. So what stinks is that your only option besides waiting the bus, and what I'm confused about is, so are they gonna make the buses come, so once an hour? It would be great if they kept it on a schedule like noon, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. My fear is what's probably going to happen is they show up, obviously, when they show up once an hour. So one could be at 12:20, and then they get back maybe 1:10, and then, you know, it's still once an hour technically. So I don't know how you schedule a dining reservation, a fast pass, boarding group for Star Wars. How do you do that around that kind of situation when if you just showed up, are they going to have signs at the bus stops that say, your bus just left, you've got 59 minutes? Are they going to have some type of marquee or some type of, not really timer, but you know how the monorail now has like, you know, it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes. It has now actually a wait time from Magic Kingdom anyway, which is nice because I normally actually don't even look at that sign anymore, and I just figure, oh, the monorail's here, I'll get on, I might get off, you know, I might get lucky or not, but normally they come pretty often. But doing this once an hour thing, how will you know when the once an hour happened? Like, if someone's walking up at 1:05 and 1:04 the bus just left, how are you supposed to know, okay, so 2:04 is when I get lucky again with this bus? So that seems to be, I'm sure they'll have cast members out there. I'm sure they're going to have somebody monitoring this out there, or hopefully signs that say, you know, the bus was just, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like, how would you even possibly make a sign for this that says, you just missed your bus, you know, it'll be back in 56 minutes. I don't know. This is going to be interesting. Okay, so I'm a chicken, as you all know, and I am a proud chicken, and I just don't like heights. I just don't. And for me to do anything with heights-wise is a very big deal for me, just because I start to have an anxiety attack or a panic attack. My breathing gets really bad. I feel out of control. I don't like the feeling. So that being said, I just think it kind of stinks because anyone staying at the resorts, it's like, well, if you want to have it all the time, 24/7, you won't have to worry about the Skyliner at all, whatever their hours are, you know, you're just going to have to face that fear and suck it up, buttercup, basically is what they're saying to you. Or you might get lucky with the buses. And the other stinky part of this is that if you rented a car, you still have to pay for parking at the Disney Resort. I so am not happy with that one because as a local, if Craig and I want to go stay at a resort. Oh, I have a friend coming who's going to have to pay for parking at the resort. I just think that's, you're penalizing me for bringing my own car. I'm not clogging up your system. And I know it's a whole thing where it's encompassing with all of the goodness of a Disney resort that you won't have to drive anymore. But those of us who want to, and especially those who drive to the resort, I just think that just put it in the room rates. Why are you, well, I guess no, because there's someone who's bringing a car. I get it, okay. See, I'm willing to accept when I'm wrong here. That being said, though, it just stinks because so now you're stuck with either the minivan service or standing in line for an hour with some people have kids that are just like ready to go. And now, by the way, not only are you standing in line at the parks, you're going to stand in line for 50 minutes for the bus. Could be 30, could be 10. I hope they're going to have some type of clear signage that says, hey guys, you know, your bus is here at such and such a time, so people aren't trying to guesstimate around their vacations, because nothing is worse than that while on vacation and trying to figure out. And we used to do it before we drove from Wisconsin to our Disney trips. We would fly, and I loved the Disney buses at first. I loved the ease of just walking a resort and getting on a bus. What I didn't like, which I think a lot of you probably don't like either, is that end of the night stampede, herd, whatever you want to call it, where everybody's tired, everybody's kids are fast asleep on their shoulders. You know, your patience has run out, you're exhausted, your kids are exhausted, you know, and you can't, and you're slamming onto a bus, the stroller barely fits, or it's hitting somebody else, you know, or your kid is not feeling well because they need to get back, and you're just contained to that bus. On top of the fact is nothing's worse when the bus rolls up and you can just kind of see the line in front of you and you're like, ugh, we're not going to get on this one, are we? That's also very stressful. So I do like the idea. I've ridden the Skyliner 3 times now. I'm going to ride it again once Kim comes. I think it's very nice, but here's also the issue. When the Skyliner breaks down, I assume they're going to be pushing out more buses for those resorts, because otherwise, if the Skyliner is down and the buses are once an hour, whoever's staying at these resorts is just like, well, you might get back, you might not, I don't know, did you want to go somewhere? And you're forcing them now to use the minivan systems or Uber or whatever else, a taxi, for whatever else they can. I mean, Kim, I believe, is driving here next weekend, and we're going to have her car there. And so I hate the fact that we're going to get penalized to park at the resorts, when especially the ones like All Stars and Pop Century has a lot of parking, you guys. This isn't like very strict, like even like Poly opened up their parking lot. Grand Floridian has a second lot. I'm trying to think who else. Wellness Lodge has a pretty good sized parking lot, but I just don't understand like the majority. I would love to know the numbers on who actually drives the car and stays at resorts and who flies in and doesn't, and just use strictly Disney transportation. What I'm thinking was probably happened is that they were doing the numbers, and I can tell you from experience that when I've ridden the Skyliner, I have never been in a long line. I have walked right on, and this is in the morning and this is in the afternoon. Now, I don't know what it's like at 8 a.m. and I don't know what it's like at 10 p.m. So that being said, during the day though, when I've walked right on, there haven't been long lines. The only time it was down for us was when it was raining and lightning, and of course they have to stop it. Obviously I've stopped in the air a couple times. That's terrifying. But if it breaks down, I assume that they're going to inform everybody waiting at these, you know, at the end of the night Studios, Magic Kingdom. They're going to tell them, hey, by the way, we have more buses coming because the Skyliner's down, because that's just going to cause a lot of problems for Disney when you've got that's, and plus now I just realized as well, Skyliner, the lines are just going to be ridiculous now, because it's going to, well, at least in the morning and the night, I don't know about during the day, but you know, if people, that's the only way you can come to and from. I get it. My friend Bethany had mentioned like the boats, I guess the boats only go from Boardwalk and Yacht Club, Beach Club. The boats take you to like Epcot and Studios. It's kind of the same thought process. I get it, I do. I don't know. I just feel for all of you who are terrified of heights, because I'm with you. I have conquered it a bit on the Skyliner just because it's not as, it's a little more flowing than I thought it was. If that gives you any help or makes you feel any better, it is not as watch the videos, watch my Skyliner videos. I mean, you can see the first ride. I'm just like, whoa, this is too much. This is too much. But if that's your alternative, then waiting in a hot line, you know, the sun's beating down, they don't have a lot of shade in those bus lines. I would definitely go with the Skyliner and just, unfortunately, try to face your fear as much as possible. I think they're going to get a lot of complaints on this. I don't think people are going to like it. And is it unfortunate? Absolutely. Yes, I'm futzing with my hair. I do think they're going to get a lot of complaints on this because I think people maybe don't think like me, but are in that same camp of like, well, I don't like riding them and they don't make me feel comfortable. And so the only option is, like I said, is the minivan. Am I forgetting other transportation? Like minivan, Uber, taxi, your rental car, right? From these resorts? I think that's it. So let me hear in the comments, what do you guys think? We're talking all about it on the Relocated Tourist on Facebook if you'd like to hear everybody's voices and opinions. Thanks for everyone for keeping it just nice and clean and just having a good discussion about it. There is no right or wrong on this, by the way. They obviously want to save costs with their busing and try to move the traffic to something that they probably invested quite a lot of money in. And, you know, they do look nice. They do ride nice when they work. But we also could say about the monorails, couldn't we? So I'm hoping that this rectifies itself calmly of the Disney community. But I like to hear your feedback because I definitely think it is an interesting topic of how people are comfortable with their transportation. And I'm assuming EVCs and scooters and all that can go on the Skyliner. I have not yet seen that, so I'm going to assume they do. I think they have a different loading area, right? So that's good about that. But if they're limited to that, then that's going to be also a problem but see the buses, you know, how many can they put on the bus? Yeah, I don't know. This is a quandary, guys. See, I'm just talking, with you guys. I don't know. I think this is going to be interesting. The great news is that I'm actually staying at Pop Century this coming Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I will get firsthand on how this is going and what the lines are at Skyliner and how people are reacting to it. You can kind of usually feel the vibe. And definitely want to walk over by the buses and just see if cast members are saying things to people. Are they saying, okay, the bus just left, this is how long you have? Are cast members sitting there with stopwatches? Curious. So I will let you guys know. And tomorrow, I'm so excited. I'm going to start Moving Mondays, which basically is talking about moving to Florida. And I will have a topic every day about just how we got here, how you can get here, and basically the ins and outs of Florida. This is a warning. If everyone that knows me and the friends that know me more knows that I do not sugarcoat living in Florida. I am trying to do you a service here because if you're not ready for what Florida has to offer, I don't want you to up your entire family and for something that you saw online. All of the content creators, we're obviously going to show you the best stuff, the awesome stuff that we're enjoying here. You're not sitting with us in I-4 traffic or sitting on the back road somewhere in 192 or there's lists. There's so many lists. So we will start that tomorrow, and I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday. And it's beautiful out, and I'm going to go enjoy it. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless.